District 24 seat, Mr. Stanford Frazier. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So jumping right in, why are you running for this seat?
I'm running for this seat for a lot of reasons, but right now, out of the people that were elected in 2022, only 1 out of the 3 individuals are running for re-election. Senator Benson, who'd been the state senator in District 24 for over 30 years, is also retiring. So it's going to be new leadership, right? No matter who's elected this election. And as a public defender, as a mentor through 100 Black Men, as a legal volunteer through community legal services, I interact with people every day struggling with housing, struggling with rising utility costs, not being able to afford groceries, and I think I could be part of the solution.
The seat that you're running for includes covering neighborhoods like Sea Pleasant, Springdale, and Lake Arbor, which is right across the street from us. What are you hearing from some of the residents in terms of the issues that they are facing?
Yeah, so we're hearing a lot of people who have concerns with the utility bills, right? Rising costs, and as someone who lives in this district, my Pepco bills are going up as well. And I want to address some of those issues just nationally in America. Almost 70% of our electrical lines are over 25 years old. So now we're putting in dollars to repair that, but that's causing higher bills, and we need to fix that.
And as a public defender in the county, public safety is one of your main goals and key priorities. So how do you plan to really put that into action?
One of the big things I want to introduce is as a public defender, you listen to a lot of 911 calls. And some of them, something very serious is happening. And sometimes you hear this person is outside sleeping on the ground. I think for those nonviolent calls of service, we can send maybe a nurse, a social worker, and then focus our police resources to the most violent calls.
If you are elected, what are some of the first pieces of legislation that you would like to push through the General Assembly?
Well, one of the big things I want to push through the General Assembly is protecting the blueprint for Maryland schools, as well as closing some corporate tax loopholes. If you register as LLCs or certain S-type corps, you can avoid paying state and federal taxes, and that's causing the higher tax burden on us residents.
And housing affordability is a major issue. So what policies would you support to help tackle that issue?
Yeah, what we're seeing right now is that there's been some research across the country. Places like New Rochelle, New York, and Austin, Texas have been able to lower housing costs by targeting increasing the supply. We have a lot of metro stations here in District 24, and we need to actually have transit-oriented development there, which can do 2 things. 1, increase the housing supply to lower costs, but 2, boost our economy.
What changes would you push to not only the state level, but to the local level as well?
Well, one of the things I want is more transparency and accountability in government and how we're appointing certain positions, as well as, speaking of the Blue Line corridor, we've been talking about creating a connector trail, a bike lane going through all the 4 metro stations in the Blue Line. I want to push that over the edge and finally get it done.
All right, and you say that a vote for you means a vote for accountability, transparency, and a career public servant. So how do you plan to do this?
You know, I think to really explain that, I got to tell some of my background. I went to a fancy law school. I went to Harvard, and a lot of my classmates, they joined law firms with 500, 1,000 plus lawyers. Their starting salary was $180,000 a year, and my starting salary at the public defender's office was $60,000 a year. That was 10 years ago. I've given up over $1 million to serve the people of Prince George's County, and that's why you can trust me to continue serving you in Annapolis.
And how can Maryland be sure that Prince George's County gets an equal share of the economic investment that we're seeing in other neighboring counties?
No, that's really important. I think, unfortunately, right, we're seeing with the disastrous Trump administration a cut of federal jobs, which has really impacted the area. At the same time, we have some crown jewels like our metro stations, right? We have some new sites open up, like the Landover Mall, like the now vacant Six Flags site, and we need to have smart plans to revitalize those areas.
Okay, and you currently have 6 other candidates that will be running against you. So what makes you stand out?
As I stated before, I've been a career public servant. I serve people on the weekends by mentoring. I serve people every single day in the courtroom that don't have a lot of people fighting for themselves. And then I use my free time to work for free, as I've been doing work with community legal services and helping expunge records. I think my record speaks for itself.
All right, Mr. Frazier, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Now stay tuned to CTV News as we continue to bring you exclusive one-on-one candidate interviews this election.